Limitless by Jim Kwik. Introduction. Unlock the potential of your brain to learn and achieve anything. Jim Kwik's Limitless is a guide to upgrading your brain, learning faster, and unlocking your full potential. As a child, Kwik experienced a traumatic brain injury that left him with a learning disability. This made school an uphill battle, as he had to put in far more effort than his peers. To make matters worse, he faced frequent bullying and was even labeled by a teacher as the boy with the broken brain. For years, Kwik believed his brain injury meant he would always have to work harder to keep up. However, during college, he had a breakthrough. The key wasn't working harder, it was learning smarter. By uncovering specific techniques, Kwik was able to enhance his focus, improve his memory, and absorb information more effectively than ever before. Like Kwik, you may also be held back by false beliefs about your abilities. These insights will demonstrate how a few strategic shifts in mindset, motivation, and learning methods can help you unlock your limitless potential. Chapter 1 of 10 Technology makes life easier, but it might hinder our ability to learn. Summary 1 of 10 is digital technology a blessing or a curse? The question seems simple, but the answer is anything but straightforward. On one hand, smartphones and tablets appear liberating. They allow us to offload some of the brain's routine functions. Convenient, right? Well, not so fast. Some researchers argue that our increasing reliance on technology could be harming our cognitive abilities. Take multitasking, for example. Constantly switching between tasks, working, checking notifications, or texting can deplete the brain's energy reserves. Neuroscientist Daniel J. Levitin warns that this habit drains the brain's fuel, leaving us stressed and fatigued. The main takeaway? Technology simplifies our lives, but it could impair our learning and memory. Today, we have instant access to an overwhelming amount of information. In fact, studies suggest the average person consumes 3 times more information than in the 1960s. However, constantly looking up facts instead of recalling them weakens our memory, much like a muscle that deteriorates from lack of use. Deliberately recalling information, on the other hand, strengthens memory. Over-reliance on technology may also weaken critical thinking. While the internet provides a vast array of opinions, many of us gravitate toward sources that align with our existing beliefs. Instead of seeking diverse perspectives, we often reinforce our own biases by relying on others' prepackaged opinions. This erodes our ability to deduce, solve problems, and think critically. To combat this, it's crucial to keep your brain sharp. One practical suggestion from Jim Kwik is to disconnect from your devices for 30 minutes daily. Use this time to relax, be creative, or simply let your mind wander. But what if you've already spent too much time glued to screens? Will it permanently alter your brain? Probably not. Brain is remarkably adaptable, as we'll explore in the next chapter. Chapter 2 of 10. Each of us has the power to reshape our brain. Summary 2 of 10. How often do you catch yourself thinking, I'm too dumb to learn a second language, I have a terrible memory, or I'm just not good at this subject? Comparing yourself to others can lead to negative self-perceptions, which in turn may limit your growth. However, just because you're not where you want to be today doesn't mean you won't excel tomorrow. The truth is, our brains are highly neuroplastic. This means they constantly change and adapt throughout our lives. The central message here is that we all have the ability to change our brains. Many people believe that our brains reach their full potential in adolescence, after which it's all downhill, but research says otherwise. Take London cab drivers, for example. To obtain a license, they spend 3-4 years memorizing 25,000 streets in a single 10-kilometer area and must pass an extraordinarily difficult exam. This rigorous training reshapes their brains. Studies reveal that cabbies have more gray matter in the memory centers of their brains compared to ordinary individuals. The intense process of learning and recalling thousands of streets actually creates new neural pathways, altering and even enlarging their brain structures. So what does this mean for the rest of us? It means we too can rewire our brains and expand our mental capacity. However, the first step is to eliminate the lies we tell ourselves, those limited ideas entertained. One of the most pervasive lies is the belief that IQ is fixed for life. While IQ test scores tend to remain consistent over time, they don't measure your true ability to learn or your actual intelligence. In reality, intelligence can evolve and grow. The idea of a fixed IQ is a harmful myth that limits potential. The author encourages us to recognize that everyone has the potential for genius. The key is to stop believing these lies, embrace the brain's adaptability, and adopt a positive mindset that fuels growth and learning. Chapter 3 of 10. Free your mind from negativity and fill it with positivity. Summary 3 of 10. Every day we think tens of thousands of thoughts, many of which repeat. Among these, we all have what are called dominant questions, recurring thoughts that shape our perspective and actions. For example, when Jim Kwik spent time with actor Will Smith on a film set in freezing Toronto, he observed how Smith's dominant question, "How do I make this experience more magical?" shaped his behavior. Instead of resting during breaks, Smith used his time to bring hot chocolate to the crew and tell jokes, lifting everyone's spirits. The key message here is, replace negative thoughts with positive ones. Now, take a moment to reflect. What are your dominant questions? Are they empowering you or holding you back? Many of us unknowingly dwell on negative questions like, how can I get people to like me? Or how can I disappear from the spotlight? These kinds of thoughts can suppress your true self and prevent growth. The solution? Begin asking positive, empowering questions. For Jim Kwik, questions like, how do I make this better? And how does my mind work so I can work my mind? Have transformed his mindset into one that is optimistic and limitless. Shifting your questions can help reframe your mental outlook and even benefit your physical health. Studies show that positive people are 13% less likely to suffer from heart attacks or depression. When negative self-talk creeps in, such as I can't, I'm not, or I don't, challenge it by flipping the script. Say to yourself, I haven't always been great at this, but I can improve. Remind yourself of times when you succeeded, even in small ways. You can also disarm your inner critic by giving it a silly persona, complete with absurd features and a goofy name. Mock it when it shows up, and learn to separate that negative voice from your authentic self. Adopting a positive mindset not only silences your self-critic, but also opens your mind to life's joys and the limitless possibilities around you. Chapter 4 of 10. Motivate yourself by discovering who you are and defining your purpose. Summary 4 of 10. The words passion and purpose are often used interchangeably to describe something that excites us or gives us meaning. However, they are fundamentally different. Passion is internal. It resides deep within you, often buried under the expectations or assumptions of others. Purpose, on the other hand, is external. It's about how you contribute to the world around you. For example, you may feel passionate about basket weaving, but your purpose might be to teach basket weaving to others. While they may seem separate, passion and purpose are deeply connected. If you want to cultivate boundless motivation and energy, the key is to uncover your passion and channel it into a purpose that drives your actions. The main takeaway here is, motivate yourself to change your behavior by defining your identity and your purpose. Let's consider an example. Imagine a 70-year-old who wakes up at 5 a.m. every day to hit the gym. Is he passionate about waking up early or lifting weights? Likely not. His purpose is to stay fit so he can keep up with his grandchildren. His sense of purpose fuels his motivation to maintain this habit. How does this apply to you? If you're struggling to find motivation for a task, ask yourself why you want to accomplish it. If your reason is tied to a meaningful purpose, you'll feel a stronger drive to take action. Here's another trick. Align your actions with your identity. A fascinating study from Stanford University illustrates this point. Participants were divided into two groups. One group was asked, how important is it for you to vote? While the other was asked, how important is it for you to be a voter? The subtle difference in phrasing led to a big result. Those asked about being a voter were 13% more likely to participate in elections. The takeaway? When you identify yourself with a goal or habit you want to develop, your motivation increases. Defining yourself as someone who votes, exercises, or learns creates a stronger commitment to that behavior. While this identity-driven motivation is powerful, there could still be deeper reasons for why motivation sometimes falters. These reasons will be explored in the following chapters. Chapter 5 of 10. Support your brain with sleep, healthy foods, and regular exercise. Summary 5 of 10. You might have a strong sense of purpose and the motivation to act, but there's still one thing that can hold you back: a lack of energy. Often this energy deficit stems from poor sleep, unhealthy eating habits, or insufficient exercise. Neglecting any of these can significantly impact your brain's performance and overall well-being. Sleep deprivation in particular is linked to numerous physical and mental health problems, including depression, irritability, heart disease, and even Alzheimer's disease. The key message here is, support your brain by prioritizing sleep, eating nutritious foods, and staying physically active. At first glance, sleep and exercise might seem unrelated, but they are deeply connected. Regular exercise can improve the quality of your sleep. In one 16-week study, participants who engaged in aerobic exercise slept an additional 1 hour and 15 minutes each night. Exercise doesn't just help you sleep better, it also enhances brain function. For example, regular aerobic activity can increase the size of the hippocampus, the brain's center for memory and learning. Despite knowing the importance of exercise, many people find it difficult to stick with it. The usual excuses include boredom, lack of time, or the expense of a gym membership. However, the benefits of exercise, better brain function, improved sleep, and overall health, far outweigh these excuses. Beyond exercise and sleep, your brain also relies on proper nutrition to function optimally. Neuroscientist and nutritionist Dr. Lisa Moscone highlights 45 distinct nutrients essential for brain health, with top sources including avocados, blueberries, broccoli, dark chocolate, eggs, leafy greens, salmon, turmeric, walnuts, and water. So how can you ensure these healthy habits, sleep, exercise, and good nutrition, become a regular part of your life? Start small. Forming habits can take anywhere from 18 to 254 days, but by making gradual, manageable changes, you'll eventually embed these behaviors into your routine. Over time, these small steps can lead to transformative results for your brain and body. Chapter 6 of 10. Boost your productivity by entering a state of flow and taking small steps. Summary 6 of 10. Think back to the last time you were so absorbed in an activity that hours seemed to pass in an instant. That's what psychologists call flow. In this state, tasks feel almost effortless. You're fully engaged, challenged just enough, and experience a sense of comfort and reward from the activity. Perhaps the best part of being in flow is that it can increase productivity by up to 500%. The key message here is, improve your productivity by tapping into a state of flow and embracing the power of small steps. So, how do you enter flow? First, you need to eliminate distractions. It's impossible to enter flow if you're constantly checking social media or being interrupted. Research shows that after an interruption, it can take up to 20 minutes to fully refocus on your task. To stay in flow, plan for uninterrupted blocks of time, 90 minutes at a minimum, though 2 hours is ideal. Avoid multitasking too, as it reduces productivity rather than enhancing it. While flow can make some tasks feel enjoyable, not all tasks lend themselves to this state. Some are simply tedious or difficult, making them easy to avoid. For these, another approach is needed. Baby steps. Procrastinating on difficult tasks can create mental tension, as unfinished tasks tend to linger in our minds, causing guilt and stress. Worse, this guilt often leads to even more procrastination, creating a vicious cycle. To overcome this, break down intimidating tasks into smaller, manageable steps. For instance, if you're overwhelmed by the idea of writing a big speech, don't focus on completing the whole thing. Start small. Tell yourself you'll just draft the keynote. Once you start, you might find yourself on a roll, accomplishing more than you planned. By breaking tasks into smaller pieces, you reduce overwhelm and make steady progress toward completion. Whether by achieving flow for engaging tasks or using baby steps for daunting ones, you can significantly enhance your productivity and keep procrastination at bay. Chapter 7 of 10. Optimize your study time for maximum efficiency. Summary 7 of 10. Ever wonder how music could improve your ability to study? Studies have shown a strong connection between music, mood, and learning. For instance, Baroque music with a tempo of 50 to 80 beats per minute, think Bach, is particularly effective at creating focus and enhancing learning. Music is just one of the many hacks you can use to harness your brain's lesser-known features and study more efficiently. The key message here is, use your study time effectively by leveraging tools like music, smell, and proven learning techniques. Smell can be another powerful tool. Because our brains often associate specific scents with memories, smells can help trigger recall. For example, The aroma of a certain spice might remind you of your grandmother's kitchen. You can use this principle to aid studying. Try applying essential oil to your wrist while preparing for an exam or presentation. Use the same scent again during the test or presentation, and you might find that it helps you access what you've learned. Jim Kwik also introduces the concept of primacy and recency, the idea that we tend to remember the first and last things we learn during a session more effectively. To make the most of this, focus on learning the most important material at the start and end of your study sessions. Save less critical information for the middle. To further optimize your study time, consider using the Pomodoro technique, which involves breaking your work into 25-minute blocks, called Pomodoros, with a 5-minute break between each. These timed intervals help maintain focus and prevent burnout. Combine Pomodoros with active recall, a method of reinforcing what you've just learned. After reviewing material, close your book or pause the video and write down everything you can remember. This ensures the material has truly sunk in and helps solidify your understanding. Another tool for effective learning is spaced repetition, which involves reviewing material at regular intervals. For instance, you could study the same material once in the morning and again in the evening. This technique strengthens memory by allowing your brain time to process and retain the information. By incorporating music, smell, primacy, recency principles, Pomodoros, active recall, and spaced repetition into your study routine, you can dramatically improve your ability to learn and retain information. Chapter 8 of 10 Visualization Techniques can improve your memory and concentration. Summary 8 of 10 concentration is like a muscle. The more you exercise it, the stronger it becomes. One effective way to strengthen it is through visualization techniques. For example, imagine the focus of your attention as a glowing ball of light. If you're having a conversation, envision that conversation as the glowing ball. When your mind starts to wander, gently bring your focus back to the light, pretending nothing else exists. Visualization techniques like this are excellent for boosting both concentration and memory. The key message here is, visualization techniques can significantly enhance your memory and concentration. People often label themselves as having either a good memory or a bad memory. Instead, try thinking of your memory as either trained or untrained. So how can you train your memory? The secret lies in associating words, numbers, or other information with vivid visual imagery. Here's how it works. Imagine you're tasked with memorizing this list of words: fire hydrant, balloon, battery, barrel, board, and diamond. Most people would try repeating the words over and over, but this approach is inefficient and forgettable. Instead, create a vivid and absurd story connecting the words. For instance, picture a fire hydrant being lifted into the sky by balloons. The balloons are then popped by batteries sitting inside barrels. These barrels are launched into the air by a seesaw-like board, which is held up by a massive diamond. This mental image is not only more fun but also far easier to remember because your brain thrives on vivid, unusual associations. You can also use visualization to prepare for presentations. Try the loci method, a memory technique that dates back to ancient Greece. Start by identifying the key points you want to discuss. Let's say 10. Then, imagine a familiar place, such as a room in your house, and create a mental path through it. Assign each key point to an object or location in the room. For instance, your lamp could represent the keynote of your presentation. As you mentally walk through the room, each object will remind you of a talking point. With these visualization techniques, you'll train your memory to become more effective, whether it's for learning a new language, delivering impactful presentations, or mastering any other skill. Chapter 9 of 10. Reading is essential for learning, and you can improve at it. Summary 9 of 10. Let's be honest, not everyone loves reading. To some it feels like a chore, tedious, time-consuming, or outright boring. After a long day, watching TV or playing video games often seems more appealing. However, studies show that reading ability is strongly linked to success in life. People who read well are more likely to land higher-paying jobs and enjoy greater opportunities. But there's more. Reading is like a workout for your brain. It activates multiple mental functions at once, enhances memory, and sharpens focus. Without reading, you're effectively limiting your ability to learn. The key message here is, reading is fundamental to learning, and you can get better at it. Most people read at about 200 words per minute, the same speed as an elementary school student. Why? Because reading instruction typically ends by 5th grade. One common obstacle to faster reading is subvocalization, or silently pronouncing each word in your head as you read. This limits your reading speed to the pace of your internal speech, which is far slower than your brain's processing potential. If you subvocalize, don't worry. You can train your brain to stop. Try this exercise. While reading, count aloud, saying 1, 2, 3, as you move through the text. This technique is challenging, but it will help you break the habit of subvocalization. Over time, you'll shift to processing words visually, which feels more like watching a movie than hearing a speech. Another effective way to reduce subvocalization is by using a visual pacer, such as your finger or a pen. Simply slide it down the page as you read. This technique leverages the brain's natural tendency to follow moving objects, helping you read faster, potentially increasing your speed by 25 to 100%. Of course, improving your reading speed is just part of the equation. To fully benefit, you need to make reading a regular habit. Commit to reading for at least 30 minutes each day, and watch how it transforms your ability to learn. Now that you're reading faster and more effectively, it's time to tackle the final piece of the puzzle: learning how to think better. Chapter 10 of 10. Improve problem solving by exploring new and different ways of thinking. Summary 10 of 10. When you think of the word genius, who comes to mind? Perhaps Albert Einstein or Marie Curie. While these figures are often celebrated for their intellectual brilliance, the concept of genius isn't limited to people with high IQs or mathematical prowess. Intelligence takes many forms. For example, Venus Williams can be seen as a genius in bodily kinesthetic intelligence. She's exceptionally skilled at using her body. The key message here is to improve your problem-solving skills, try new and different ways of thinking. Understanding the type of intelligence you excel at is just the starting point. To solve problems more efficiently, you need to break your usual thinking patterns and approach challenges from fresh angles. One effective method for doing this is the thinking hat technique. Imagine you have a collection of hats in different colors, and each one represents a distinct perspective. For example, wearing a red hat prompts you to evaluate a situation emotionally. A green hat encourages creativity and out-of-the-box thinking. Switching hats allows you to analyze a problem from multiple perspectives, which can unlock new solutions. However, sometimes even innovative techniques like this aren't enough. Certain problems require an entirely new approach, thinking exponentially instead of linearly. Linear thinking involves solving one crisis after another, often focusing on surface-level issues. Exponential thinking, on the other hand, addresses the root cause of problems and finds transformative solutions. Naveen Jain, entrepreneur and winner of the Albert Einstein Technology Medal, is a proponent of exponential thinking. Take his company, Viome, as an example. Jain identified chronic illness as the world's most pressing health crisis. But instead of focusing on treating individual diseases, he asked a deeper question. What's the root cause of these illnesses? He discovered that our gut microbiome plays a critical role in immune health. Rather than creating treatments for specific illnesses, Jain developed a tool to analyze an individual's gut microbiome, enabling people to optimize their diets for better health. By addressing the root of the problem, Jain's work has the potential to revolutionize healthcare. You don't need to solve global crises like Jain, but adopting new ways of thinking can lead to innovative solutions in your own life. By changing your perspective, thinking creatively, and exploring root causes, you'll increase your ability to tackle challenges and accomplish meaningful goals. Conclusion. Final summary. This wraps up the key lessons from Limitless by Jim Kwik. The main takeaway is this. Many of us limit ourselves with false beliefs about our intelligence or abilities. However, you don't need to be born a genius to succeed. What matters is nurturing your unique talents and staying motivated. Start by identifying your purpose, that deeper reason to keep striving, and let it propel you forward. From there, it's about applying the right techniques for studying, focusing, memorizing, reading, and thinking. Master these methods and your ability to learn will become truly limitless. Actionable advice. One practical tip to boost productivity is to create a not-to-do list, an effective complement to your to-do list. While a to-do list helps you track tasks, it doesn't prioritize them. A not-to-do list, on the other hand, ensures you avoid wasting time on non-essential activities. Here's how to make one. 1. List tasks you can't do because of external constraints. 2. Identify busy work that adds little value. 3. Add tasks you can delegate to others or those handled by existing systems. This will leave you with a clear list of what not to focus on, allowing you to devote your energy to what truly matters. Got any feedback? We'd love to hear what you think about our content. Just drop a comment below and please hit that like button and subscribe not to miss great contents.